Hello, everyone, and welcome back to This Week in Guns, where we bring you your favorite soft rock music songs. This is brought to you by Patriot Patch Company and Primary Arms. And if you didn't know, the show offers you commentary on the latest firearms industry news, information, and buzz. So if you didn't know, now you know. I'm your host, Matthew Larosiere, and I'm here with my co-host, Shawn Herrin. Shawn, what's poppin', baby?
Nothing, man. Just here. Happy to be here. Really glad to be here. Really glad to talk about all the soft rock hits of the 80s, 90s, and 2000s.
And today.
And today.
Don't forget, 80s, 90s, and today.
Wait, is soft rock still even a category? A genre, if you will?
It is in my heart.
Okay, good. Because, yeah, I mean, I was somewhere. Oh, yeah. Pincus, actually. I was in Missouri with him, and he was playing like a bunch of soft rock, and he called it yacht rock. And I was like, that is the most fitting description I've ever heard.
Yeah.
Turn up the yacht rock.
Yeah, man. Crank that yacht rock, but not past 8. Please.
No.
We're in a residential area.
And let's not push it past about 7:30 p.m. because honestly, I got to go to bed.
And it's just rude, to be frank.
No one wants that.
Speaking of which, let's bring you a classic from the great artist known as Primary Arms. We have this hit single, Deals on Braces in Stock. Take it away.
Ooh. So today we have these deals on braces in stock. There's the SBA 3, the SBA 4, the HKPDW, which is one that looks really cool, but I don't really like very much. I think of all of them, the SBA 3 is my favorite. What do you think, Matt?
HKP. You know what? I kind of like that. What don't you like about the PDW?
It looks amazing. In theory, it's amazing. In practical application, it sucks.
Like the mush factor?
Just shooting them, they're like uncomfortable and where you got to put your face. If you decided to shoulder, which of course none of us would ever actually do.
No, I can see that. When you brace it to your arm, those two rods would be kind of awful.
They actually really are. And
my favorite one is the triangle one.
Oh, yeah. I have that one on my MP5 clone.
Nice.
Yeah, I love it.
And they got the folding tube adapter.
Yeah. That one's actually pretty nice.
Yeah. I
have one of those sitting around somewhere. It's pretty cool.
That's for the type of guns that have AR tubes but aren't ARs because there's a big old block in the middle of it.
Exactly. Yep. But they're available.
They're
oh, look at this. Please add to cart for sale price. Let me go check it out.
Oh, it's secret. No, you can't show the secret.
I can.
I'm just kidding. You can do it.
I'm going to do it. Hold on. Add to cart.
Yeah.
Now, holy shit.
$109.99. Oh, I see. Look what you had in your cart, you bad boy. What are you doing?
Polymer 80 PF 940 V2 and an SV tactical brace. I do what I want.
Yeah, that is the ultimate cart of, I think I'll do what I want.
Exactly.
That's awesome.
Primary Arms does have all these in stock. I'm actually filtering by in stock only. Lots of cool stuff out there. Even the Evo brace.
Even what?
Even the Evo brace.
Yeah, those are hard to get sometimes when they're in stock.
Yeah.
So I think that what people should generally do in this situation, when they find themselves in this situation, I think they should go to frn.deals/PA.
100% agree. Now back to the oldies.
Back to the oldies.
I mean, the yacht rock.
We have next up, no evidence red flag laws are working after 5 years in effect in Washington. And so this is news broke by Bearing Arms. They point out an article in the Seattle Times, which we know is a bastion of truth and justice.
Yes.
They're advancing a narrative of how useful red flag laws are, despite no evidence cited whatsoever. And I mean, it's like kind of the classical thing where they just keep talking about the number of orders that were issued, and there's no way to connect this to violent crime or actually really anything. And I mean, those statistics where they do exist run counter to what's been happening since red flag laws started coming up. So
yeah,
it's interesting that they're it's kind of like a cope, it seems, where they're like, no, this is awesome because look, they can take the guns.
Yeah, I'm actually unaware of any red flag laws that have gone on in Colorado that have been successful or, I don't know, like desired. Or you think if it worked and they stopped something, they would crow about it everywhere they possibly could. Right. And I hear nothing. So
they're making the case that like And they point out the obvious fact that most people who die from a gun die from completing suicide. In 2017, 75% of Washington's gun deaths were attributed to suicide. And the national figure is 60. So Washington must really suck. And so then they're just kind of like, I guess they're making some kind of relationship between red flag orders and suicide, but those go together kind of like pineapple on a pizza, I would say.
Yeah.
And I'm saying that in the correct way, by the way. The two don't go together.
Right. You know, that's the thing. Like, of all the idiotic things out there in the gun control zeitgeist, it's, you know, red flag laws are going to be great for suicides. Like, I don't understand how that is logical. Okay, people are killing themselves. What do?
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, we bust down their door and we take guns without warrants.
Right.
Okay, cool. So what did we do to help the suicide? No, see what we did.
We took the gun.
We took the gun. So now they can't kill themselves because guns clearly are the only way that people commit homicide upon themselves.
Right.
No, but no, like just pills or I don't know, toaster in a bathtub. Like there's lots of things people do to commit suicide every day.
I mean, to be fair, the firearm is, you know, the most, I don't want to say effective because suicide is bad, but the most effective mechanism. Like you have the most completed suicides with firearms by percentage. But that doesn't mean that, like, if you just take somebody's gun away, one, assuming you got their last gun.
Yeah.
Two, you've just put them through a horrifying experience.
Right.
Right. Like that's if they were already actively suicidal, I would say that might, you know, make it worse.
Yeah.
And yeah, they point that out here. And also something pointed out in the article that's interesting. Yeah. Red flag laws, like if you're going to talk about the suicide problem, you know, the focus needs to be on like access to mental health treatment. And I'm not saying that the way like Republicans say it, you know, and just, which is basically like you need to, you know, put shrinks in schools and force people to talk to them.
Agreed.
And then, you know, disqualify them from their civil rights if you find anything wrong with them. No, I mean, like, we need policies and procedures that makes it easy for people to go and trust a shrink to tell them how they're feeling, to tell them they're feeling suicidal, and then get access to, you know, whatever, you know, the good kind of pills, not the full bottle pills, right?
Yeah.
That they could take to, you know, help give them a happy life. We don't have that. And also when you look at it, the Seattle Times themselves published in 2019 an investigation that showed Washington has the third highest rate of mental illness in the whole country.
I believe that, having been in Seattle recently.
Right. 49th in terms of inpatient beds available for those in crisis.
Oh, cool. So tons of people in crisis, very little support structure for people in crisis. Suicide's high, red flag laws are the answer. Got it.
Yeah. Yeah. Right. So
I find that so annoying. Like, look, I don't claim to know how to stop suicides. And I don't know what the answer is there. But
I don't think you can.
No, I'm
it's
pretty
been going
sure.
on for a long time.
Yeah. And I don't even know, like, is the number you mentioned that guns like had the highest success rate, but is that even true? Is that the way that most people commit suicide?
No.
Okay.
So I'm not saying that that's like the most popular way.
Okay,
I don't know that information, but I do know that when people make an attempt,
it's generally more successful than other methods that they would attempt.
Well, yeah. And I don't want to use the word successful, but I would say it's more likely to be a completed attempt.
Fair. Yeah.
Yeah. So
bad word.
Yeah. No, I mean, you're technically right, but I've been struggling with online words and
no, I totally get it. Yeah.
Monetization.
Right. No, that's totally fair. So yeah, it blows me away that like that's where they put their focus instead of.
I just get mad that like these guys talk. They say that they care about mental health reform and mental illness, and then they're like, "Hey, you know what we should do? Let's just screw them over real quick."
Yeah,
easy.
Totally.
Right?
Yeah.
And like it says here, yeah, building new psychiatric facilities costs a lot more money than slapping gun control in the books.
I guess it's time to like talk about my friends over at Hold My Guns. Like,
right.
That's an idea that I can kind of get behind. if someone was feeling like they may harm themselves, they can take their firearms to an affiliated FFL, and they can turn them over to the FFL. And then once they get through their crisis, if they get through their crisis, whenever they get through their crisis, hopefully they get through their crisis, they can go back and get them from the affiliated FFL. And like that, to me, like that gives control to the individual. And, you know, if someone's actually going to, like, it has a much happier prognosis, I think, in general than all these warrantless seizures and red flag laws and things like that.
Right.
Of course, it requires them to recognize like that they're feeling a certain way. And I don't know. It seems great. Holdmyguns.org, by the way, if anyone's curious.
Right. And like, the only problem with that type of stuff is when we try to go for a legislative solution. Mm-hmm. And so actually one of my old law professors, who's a really cool guy, has always like talked to me openly about these issues and something he really cares about. He's kind of championing, his name's Frederick Vars, and he's championing this voluntary prohibited person thing where basically, you know, you put yourself on this list and then, you know, it'll be flagged in the state's NICS interface. However that's done in the particular state, you know, they're all a little different. But once you're off, or once you're done and, you know, you can put, you know, you have a right to take yourself back off the list. So the point of this would be for people who like don't have a gun to be like, I don't want to go and, you know, get one, which it's happened, right? I've heard of stories where people have gone to an FFL. I actually had one story that was really horrible. My friend taught me. The guy came, bought the gun, left for 2 hours, came back and was like, you know, I don't know how to load this. And he was like, okay, well, you know, and he safely instructed him how to do it. And then the guy went home and, you know, and did that. And they found out the next day when they ran a trace on the gun. They were like, you know, he's like, yeah, I sold that to him like 2 days ago. So that's like, it's a thing that has happened, yeah. Right? And so I can see the utility of something like that. You know, if you're like, I'm in a crisis and I'm freaking out, like, I don't want to be able to get a gun. You know, I can see the utility, but the problem is once you put that in the hand, you know, once you take that idea, which is not a bad idea, and put it in the hands of lawmakers, they start cocking it up.
Yeah.
They start making it so, oh, well, you need to go through this process to get yourself removed from the list. And then also like they keep a record of it so that, you know, like later on, you know, and like the thing that makes me most worried is stuff like the Florida bar. Like if you want to ever become a lawyer in Florida, you have to explain every time you sneezed. And if you think that, you know, they wouldn't be like, so how come you voluntarily surrendered your gun rights in this year? Like, that's just horrible.
Yeah.
So that's why I actually tend to prefer the things like Hold My Guns, which is purely private. Mm-hmm. You know, like I guess the point is for suicide prevention, there's people who are actually out there doing work. You know, like Hold My Guns and like, you know, my old friend Frederick Vars that are trying not to hurt people.
Right.
And I just think it's kind of like insulting when these people, you know, these red flag and et cetera supporters like just do crap like this.
Yeah, I totally agree. And like I said, I don't know what the answer is, but I'm pretty sure that this kind of corrupt like nonsense is not the appropriate answer.
Yeah, there are times when corruption is the answer, but I don't think it's this time.
Yeah, well, I don't mind if we, the people, are corrupt. I just don't trust our corrupt government.
Well, there is an optimal level of corruption in government.
Yeah.
Like, you know, and for an example like that, you know, most people would agree that for like a victimless crime, like speeding, right? Like that there should be speeding laws, but also it would be more optimal if you could just bribe them, right? So like the optimal situation for speeding laws isn't to like get rid of speeding. It's to have enough corruption to where you could just be like, here's $200 so I don't have to like, you know, deal with this for months now, right? Like that's a pretty good outcome because you're still disincentivized from the behavior, but just not in a way that's insane. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk.
I'm like, ish. But at the same time, then you end up with people who are more corrupt than others and the price is higher for others. And then you have Jim Crow bribery.
Right. And so that's why I said there is an optimal level, and like, it's not, the optimal level isn't like 50%, right? It's just not zero, right? You know, it might be like 3 or 4%.
Fair.
Corrupt.
Fair. I mean, look, our legislators are already corrupt because they already get bribed by lobbying interests. So
yeah, but and we can't even bribe them though. So like, that's suboptimal corruption, right? Because it concentrates the benefits and diffuses the cost over everybody.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah, the corruption should be in a way that I can take advantage of. That's my theory on it.
Fair enough.
All right, well, moving on to Nevada. Or wait, hold on. Which is the way they don't like? Yeah, no, they don't like it that way. Nevada. Nevada. So there's a couple of bills heading to the governor's desk, and I don't want to read that name. AB 286, SB 452. And so these are basically an expansion of gun-free zones and basically extreme restrictions on home-built firearms. They impose requirements on you to build your own gun that are like way more than in the federal law, and prohibit people from having unregulated component, like, you know, build kits, basically. It says unregulated components commonly used by hobbyists to make their own firearms, and bans the possession of existing legal firearms without serial numbers, unless they were made before 1969.
Oh, wow. Nevada, right. What you doing?
Nevada.
What you doing, girl?
I do this for the engagement. People will comment saying, "No, it's you."
Oh, that's clever. That's clever.
You gotta say the short A sound.
So Nevada, honey, what you doing?
Like, yeah, baby. Can you like not?
It's like they legalize weed, and then suddenly no one has brains there.
Yeah,
and I'm not saying that. I don't know specifically what it is, but I know, like, I support the legalization. Like, I think we should legalize heroin personally.
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah, like everything. Legalize everything. It'll work itself out.
Yeah, so that's 286. That's the home built gun ban, which is really concerning to me. And 452 prohibits anyone, including concealed carry permit holders, from having firearms at certain covered premises, which are any gambling establishments. Right. It's just like extra. It's just gun-free extra business, you know?
Right. So they're saying that if you stay at a hotel that also has a gambling license or a gaming license, well, you can't possess even lawfully possessed and
bye-bye shot show. That's what Nevada should say.
Yeah.
Bye-bye.
Well, unfortunately, I don't think that the NSSF has the courage of that conviction, because I think they would absolutely still stay there regardless.
Oh, no, they would. But still, like, I mean, it's at least threatening, right?
Yeah.
Because if you can't take your equipment right from the hotel you're operating your stuff out of.
Actually, I mean, I don't know how they would do it. Everyone just has.
You know how they do it?
How?
They'd be like, "Oh my God, we're going to lose all this tax money. We need to put in an exemption for this."
You know, you're 100% right. Actually,
that's how they do it. That's precisely how they do it.
The exemptions.
Government so.
You know who has their business in Nevada?
Who's that?
Polymer 80.
Polymer 80.
Yeah.
Yes. And who they're trying to threaten and choke out for some reason because. Oh, your dog's looking straight at the camera. That's so adorable.
She's like, "What is happening?
What is up? Am I in the internet?"
You're on the internet. Yes.
You're inside the internet. All right. Next up, we've got some real typical nonsense. Gavin Newsom did tweets. Politicians should really not do the tweets anymore.
Well, they're fine as long as they're not mean tweets.
Well, anyway, so right after the San Jose mass shooting, he's tweeting about, all right, here's what he said. Some people like to point to horrific shootings like yesterday's and say California's strict gun control laws don't work. The reality is that is simply not true. So then he like starts going off on the rate of gun deaths, right, and also gun deaths. What does that mean?
No idea. When your gun breaks.
Yeah, Tech Nines, after the polymers aged, experienced a high rate of gun death. But yeah, no, he keeps talking about the death rate. It's just like, if anything, this kind of stuff, it's like, oh, so you're proving that your statistics are total nonsense.
Yeah.
Anyway,
I just want to know why during the whole year that the C word was going down, there was like none of this stuff. And now suddenly when they believe that Biden has saved us all from this thing, like why suddenly, now that they're focused on it, why is it happening constantly? I would be curious about that.
So yeah, I mean, it couldn't possibly have anything to do with the fact that we just locked everyone in their homes for a year and a half and then let them out into the hot. It couldn't possibly have anything to do with that. I don't know. One of Newsom's tweets, it made a lot of sense, actually. We need common sense gun laws now. Whenever I hear stuff like that, I just think of a sheep. Common sense gun laws now.
Totally agree. Yeah, man. Like I don't have the statistics right here with me, but I kind of think that he's full of it.
I mean, look, like the violence tracks to population densities, and it also tracks with economic factors. And California has an incredible amount of landmass where you have a lot of people that are living far apart, right? And a lot of people that are living in extremely good financial situations. And those, that will put downward pressure on your violence rates.
Yeah.
But if you look at the centers where people are concentrated and the centers where people are, not doing so well, I think you'll find that it kind of tracks with the rest of the nation. It's really there's not much pressure from the data I've looked at. And I mean, I haven't done a deep dive into this for like 2 years, but I'm, the data was so stagnant that I'd feel pretty confident that it's still that way today. It really is a function of those two factors: how close people are together and how they're doing financially. And that's how you get your violent crime.
Interesting. I really think that like California is really quite restrictive. And
do you think that?
Yeah, I think that.
I agree.
Yeah, I think they are quite restrictive. Like to point to horrific shootings and say California strict gun laws don't work. But I mean, like they don't, right? They
I mean, obviously not. Yeah. But that's because of Nevada, right? We have to remember, we have to blame Nevada, because until we have the same laws as California and Nevada, that, it's not going to work. And then once we have that, it's like, oh, well, we need to go over again.
Right. It's definitely Nevada's fault.
Yeah. And then, until we keep doing that until we can blame Florida. And then the whole country has California's laws and they're like, it's Canada and Mexico.
Right.
We need them to do it.
Wow. They need instead of new gun laws is a new governor.
They need a lot of new stuff.
Yeah.
I think what they need is 4 new states.
I'm kind of down with it, honestly. Like sports teams and sports leagues, like they expand. Mm-hmm. They expand pretty regularly. Like, why not states?
I was like, chop it up.
Yeah, no, I agree. Like, exactly. Chop it up. Have net 3 new states.
Yeah, exactly.
It would be great, actually. LA and all that awful place could be like its own state.
Chop that sucker up.
The mountains would be like a mountain state.
And you know how we can do it? We can do it like how Europe divided the Middle East after World War I.
Oh, gee,
we'll just have you and me do it and just be like, yeah, whatever. This
like everywhere we want to go is like one state.
Jefferson.
Yeah, exactly.
So like, Jefferson is shaped like a salamander.
Oh gosh.
But what will they produce? What would they produce? That's their problem.
Right. Well, right now they're their primary export is crime. So I think anything's really an improvement.
Oh, man.
Oh, goodness.
All right. Next up, this is interesting stuff. Speaking of current world events.
Holy moly.
So, we hear a lot of talk about, certain injections.
Yeah.
Vaccinations, etc.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of pressure to go and get your shot. And you generally do hear this from one side of the political aisle, right? Like, they're offering gift cards and this and that and the other thing. And, I'm not saying one way or the other about this, but this is an interesting little thing. West Virginia is offering custom boutique firearms as incentives to go and get your special shot. I wonder how this is making people at, Silicon Valley tech companies feel.
Probably not great. It's probably
but what do they like? How do they rectify this?
They can't. It's like making their brain literally turn to mush. They can't. They're like on the one hand, but also on the other. And you
need to make people get the shot. Give the people the things they like. Well, here in West Virginia, people like guns.
Yeah.
Not that. No.
Oh, man.
But yeah, so West Virginians who get their vaccines will be entered into a drawing to win prizes. It's like a lottery, right? Everybody who gets the shot gets put in this lottery, and there's $1 million cash and a bunch of, fancy blasters. This was announced Tuesday by Governor Jim Justice, which is a great governor name.
Right. Also a great name for like a lawman in the Old West. James Justice.
Yep. 5 custom hunting rifles, 5 custom hunting shotguns, 2 tricked out pickup trucks, and 5 lifetime hunting and fishing permits.
There's something so wrong that
gave his pitch via PowerPoint.
Oh,
and it included a photo of his bird dog, Jazz.
Wow, that's a bird dog? I wouldn't expect that dog to be able to run.
It's not a bird dog.
No.
It's not a bird dog.
That's a fat French bulldog.
That is a big buddy.
Yeah.
It's not a Frenchie, is it?
I don't know.
I think that's a regular bulldog.
Yeah.
Like a American bulldog.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, because French bulldogs are the little bug-eye things.
French bulldogs are an accident, actually. They were created as a result of French prostitutes wanting pugs. No, that's the modern pug. And this also affected the integrity of the breed of the French bulldog. So yeah, French prostitutes wanted pugs. And they would buy them from Spanish cab drivers, like the guy in Mulan. Not in Mulan, like in Pocahontas.
Yes.
No, this is real. This is a real thing. And so they took them into France, and these pugs were so expensive because they had to be imported from China. Like, pugs used to have
I've seen
terrier noses.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah. And so like they were like, well, we can't afford another bug to breed them with. So they would breed them with what was becoming the French bulldog. And so they just kind of like nuked both breeds.
Oh my God.
Because French prostitutes wanted like something to keep them company and not be depressed.
Jiminy Christmas.
Yeah.
What a time to be alive.
One of my favorite dog facts.
That's a good dog fact.
Yeah.
This whole incentivizing people to take the vaccine really bothers me at a fundamental level.
It's weird.
Right? Like, it's weird.
Like, I mean, like, so I'll tell you something. I used to not take my flu shots, right? And then I got the flu ones, and I'm like, I ain't doing that again. And so now I take my flu shot, but you don't need to incentivize me to do that. That said, when Publix gives me $10 to go get stuck there, I do it, right? I intentionally take my vaccine at Publix. So it just seems weird that we're having to push people so hard. And I mean, I'm not making any kind of statement on any like kind of stuff like that. I'm just saying I take my flu shot no matter what. No one has to, no one has to offer me a chance at a truck or whatever.
Yeah, it just it really, like, I don't know, it makes the hackles on my neck rise.
No, it feels weird.
It does.
It's one of those things where it's like, the sell is too hard. Like if you go to a used car dealership and you're like, hey, I want the sedan. They're like, you should really buy this minivan. Well, but I came for a sedan. Well, maybe I'll give you $500 off. I mean, okay, maybe I can look at $5,000 off. You're going to be like, I don't want that.
Yeah.
I don't think I want this anymore.
Like when you're pushing that hard, and like even Colorado just announced like a bunch of like a prize money lottery. I'm like, what the heck, man?
Yeah, it's just weird.
Concerning.
Florida Governor DeSantis is making everyone mad, where he's like, no, vaccine passports are illegal in Florida. It's like, we're not doing it.
Good. Florida is rising on my list weekly.
DeSantis, when we elected him, I was like, oh, an empty red suit. Like, he literally ran on the premise that Trump said hi to him once. Like, I'm not joking, but the way he handled this stuff has just been really, really cool. Because, Norwegian and the other, foreign cruise lines were like, we can only operate out of your ports if, people have these passports. And Newsom just goes, nah.
Good
and
for
so
him.
they're like, but what about the cruise industry? And he did a press release. He said, Norwegian, they will be replaced. Just the largest cruise line in the world by a lot. So it was kind of a stupid thing to say. Like, Norwegian will certainly not be replaced, but they will certainly not have another place to go.
Yeah. Crazy, man. Crazy.
Yeah, it's a funny clown world that we live in.
Yeah, it is. I mean, good on them for giving away guns, or not good on them for giving away guns. Good on them for saying, where's the quote? They have the right
and the incentive.
And the first part of that I'm down with. The rest of it, not so much.
Yeah, it's just interesting. I'm most interested in this because of the way it would boil the partisan brain.
True, very true.
Hey, let's get rednecks to take their shot. Oh, I like that. I like that a lot. We're going to give them guns. No.
It's that. Wait, what meme?
Yeah. Hold up.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, yeah, that's it. Yeah. That meme, exactly.
Okay. So next up, this is a good one. There's a study that is indicating, and I mean, look, I will always say junk science, most science is junk science. But this study indicates that the authors of the study, Toshio Ferrazarez, Joseph Sabia, and D. Mark Anderson, are suggesting that after gun buybacks, they notice a 2-month uptick in violent crime. That's weird.
I mean, especially because of the kind of guns that I think are generally turned in these gun buybacks.
Well, look at the picture, and that's the truth.
Yeah.
You want to put it on the screen?
Yeah.
Here, I can do it. I don't need to ask you.
Oh, yeah. look at that.
Yeah, typical guns turned into police.
Yeah.
It's
just really nuts.
It's a bunch of fun stuff.
It is.
It's literally a bunch of broken garbage. And you know how the best way we know this? Because they sell the parts afterwards for people to then develop 3D printed frames for, LOL. But you do see a bunch of just nonsense. And that's what it is people are like, oh, my dad, look, there's an Arisaka right there at the bottom. A Japanese Arisaka.
Dang.
At least I think that is. It's a kind of a cool gun. Has some history to it. Oh, my dad left this in the thing. Idiot is dead. I'll go get my $150,
right.
coupon or whatever.
Yeah.
And then we've just got a bunch of Broken Turkish single shot shotguns and stuff like that. None of these are Krimgats and Arma, Luger, and 22 LR.
Yeah.
They're just junk guns.
It's crazy, man. So
it's ridiculous.
So do you think that uptick is crimers in the area that are like, oh man, people just turned in their guns. We gonna crime so hard now.
Okay, let's look at the abstract. Gun buyback programs, which use public funds to purchase civilians' privately owned firearms, aim to reduce gun violence. However, little is known about their effects on firearm-related crime or deaths. Using data from the National Incident-Based Reporting System, we find no evidence that gun buyback programs reduce gun crime. Given our estimated null findings with 95% confidence, we can rule out decreases in firearm-related crime greater than 1.3% during the year following a buyback. Using data from the National Vital Statistics System, we also find no evidence that gun buybacks reduce suicides or homicides where a firearm was involved. Moreover, during the first 2 months following the gun buyback, we find that a gun buyback program is associated with an increase in incidents of firearm-related crime. The 7.7% increase in gun crime we detect is relatively modest, suggesting at most 2 additional gun crimes. I mean, 7.7% sounds like a lot, but you do have to understand that actually gun crime is not that common.
Right.
So, yeah, 7.7% is 2 more. Could it be that people are like, thinking about guns after they did all this stuff? I don't know.
Well, and like I was saying earlier, like we didn't see a lot of this during COVID and we're seeing a lot of it now. And is that because they were pushing for so much gun control, like immediately after that dude was elected president, like right. So much. And it was so much in that public zeitgeist, use that word twice now in one episode. And like now it's just out there and people start thinking about it. And the, I don't know, unmedicated people that are out there just start, or over medicated people, whatever you want to say, just like suddenly like it's all they can think about because it's all they see in the news and it's freaking them out. And I don't know.
Right. I don't think it has anything to do with coverage of gun crime. I think that the only thing that has to do with that, and we know this from reading the manifestos that are conveniently made available by the people who do the mass crimes. I think that generally violent crime is a simple function of those things I was talking about earlier, and population density and the economic situation of the area. I think that to suggest that I think it would be contrived to say that gun buybacks actually do cause an increase in crime. There could be, to use your term, in the mass hive mind. I was going to say zeitgeist, but it didn't actually work. In the mass hive mind, that a thought that people don't have guns anymore because they just bought back all of them. Maybe 1 or 2 criminals might buy that, and maybe that'll explain that little thing. But I don't think that that's really statistically significant on the. It's statistically significant, but I don't think that's significant from a public policy perspective. I don't think we should make decisions based on that.
No, I agree with that.
But yeah, so gun buybacks are stupid for the reason they think they're good, but they're good for the reason that none of them think of. And that's that they generate a whole boatload of parts kits.
Sounds reasonable. I'm down.
I've talked to some people about that. Like I talked to a policeman from my area, and I was like, you know what happens with those, right? And I told him, and he was just like dumbfounded. I'm like, yeah, you took all those guns off the street. Congratulations, bro.
Right.
Now they're back.
They're back. And now they're wearing an invisibility cloak.
Yeah, they're back and they're scary.
Right.
All right. So speaking of South Florida police, Miami police chief says you either support police or you think that everybody should have a firearm.
Fair enough.
Interesting choice.
Everybody should have a firearm.
I've made my decision.
Yes.
It's a compelling case.
Yeah, it was pretty easy, actually. Didn't really have to think about it too much. In fact, I decided when you said the first 3 words of the sentence. Yeah.
So this is Miami police chief Art Acevedo, which is spelled dangerously close to avocado, reacted to Sunday's targeted attack on rapper ABMG Spitta's album release party by calling for universal background checks. So there was an attack. There was a party, and some crazy people got together and attacked it. And so, of course, like the answer is universal background checks.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah. Like, okay, whatever, dude.
First of all, has anyone listened to that album? Is it fire or what?
Yeah, is it like really good?
Yeah, like I
or is it like really bad?
Yeah.
What's the deal? Yeah,
I don't know.
So Avocado said it's just an indication of the problem we have with the scourge of gun violence in this country. That we have to do much more at the federal level to stop. Well, thank God that you are the Miami police chief, which on the global scale is akin to like, being a special prosecutor in Moldova. Like, shut up, loser.
Right. This guy who gets appointed by the local politicians doesn't win elections, right? No.
So after making this gun control push, he says you're either with law enforcement or you stand with the fringe and believe that everybody should have a firearm, regardless of their character, capabilities, and mental capacity.
Wow. That's weird that you have to make that choice. Like, why can't you support good police officers?
This is the same guy. They imported this guy from Houston who was over there pushing for gun control.
Yeah, I'm not surprised at all. Oh, yeah, I see it right there.
Yeah, Avocado. He was from Houston.
Yeah, not even surprised at all. And I mean, if I have to make the choice, it's an easy choice. I don't want to make that choice, but if avocados make me make that choice, then I'm going to make that choice.
Listen, Avocado, I don't want to look. If it's either or.
Right. I don't know what to tell you.
It's like, sorry, man, I got to have them. I mean, you understand. It's just business.
Absolutely. Like, it's ridiculous. I guarantee he doesn't live his life that starkly. And but he wants us all to, because he's better than
I'm
us.
sure that, like, look at that guy's face. That dude sucks down nose candy like nobody's business.
I mean, Miami.
Yeah. No, just look at him. The dude's tweaking right there on the picture.
Yeah, I do agree. But also, like, this isn't this like maybe some gang violence or like, I don't know.
I'm not going to say it because, we like, I don't want to be like, the people who always blame one thing. It's possible, especially when something is coordinated in such a fashion that seems like what we call organized crime. But hey, everybody knows that universal background checks are a proven way to stop organized crime.
Don't they literally do nothing in Colorado? They give them things to add on to other charges so that they pull plea deals and have to.
Listen, I didn't say it was an effective way. I said it was proven.
Right. Fair. Yeah.
It's just been proven that they can do it.
It's been proven that they can do it. Also proven that they suck and they're stupid and it's a waste of everybody's time. But I mean, like, if I have to choose.
Yeah. You got to choose. Hey. Your camera stopped again.
Oh, I've got friends in Miami PD and I bet they're pretty annoyed by this, honestly.
You should talk to them. I'd be curious if they could give us like an anonymous, obnoxious statement about their new boss.
I bet they probably wouldn't.
Oh, really?
I mean, just because, they like
because of how it be.
Yeah, they like having jobs and things, and the
corruption
that.
Again doesn't cut the correct way.
Right? Exactly. All those things. So, I mean, they're idiots. Oh, cool. Everything's orange now. I'm not freaking out at all. Are you freaking out?
Don't freak out. Don't freak out because we got patches.
Kind of freaking out. Everything's better
patches.
now.
Don't worry, it's okay. We got patches. See? I brought out the patches and your camera came back.
I know. It's like magic. Okay. Patches cure everything. In fact, don't do a shot thing. You should just eat a patch.
Eat a patch.
Yeah, because then you'll die from a valve blockage and you won't have to worry about that viral thing.
Yeah, whatever the other thing is.
Yeah. I think we're not supposed to say that word, right?
Yeah, you said it like twice, but whatever.
Oh, boy. Suddenly now I'm concerned.
Yeah, who cares? I mean, really.
Just, bleep it out or something. I don't know.
I don't know. But yeah, that's Patriot patch.
Fantastic patch.
They don't have anything bad on their website. It doesn't have any viruses or any kind of stuff related to that. It's just nice PVC, the good soft type that you like. I know you guys like it. You told me. Yeah. Remember?
Yeah.
You guys told me you like these patches. You like the way that they're curved. You like the way that they're laser cut or die cut or whatever they are. These are the ones you like. And they're available for sale.
Yeah, it's the good stuff. And Patriot Patch Company, they're always holding. So hit them up.
They always hold. Yeah. They do. I've never once caught them lacking.
Nope. HMU, but them, not me. And they'll take care of you. They'll get you the stuff.
HTU.
Yeah, hit HTU. They'll get you the stuff you need. Yep. Prices are good. In fact, they run a monthly delivery of the things you want.
You can do it. It's the patch of the monthly club.
Yeah.
It's the stuff of legend. It really is. And don't tell them I told you this. All right, it's kind of between you and me. But there's a special code.
Wait,
I hacked their system.
You're gonna tell them?
I went into their mainframe.
Mm-hmm.
Check it right now.
I hear it. He's hacking. My camera's off again.
Twig 10. If you input Twig 10 into the dingus, you're gonna get a discount.
I can't believe you just did that. That's over the line, but I mean, who am I to say? So go get your look out for the listeners. Yeah, go get your discounts, guys. Before they patch this hole. Yeah, this TWIG 10. That's the one I put in there. I put it in there. All right, boom, done, sold. I'm in. All right, man. Is that all we got? That's everything, guys. That's exciting. That is everything. I do have a new video out on Fudbusters. Y'all check that out. It's about the myth of the open bolt ban. And some of you might have just said, "What? The myth?"
So yeah, do check that out. Shawn, anything cool going on with you?
No, not really. My camera's frozen, so I feel like I can pick my nose. I can pee in a bottle, like anything I really want right now. So it's
gamer
like
bottle.
Yeah, the world is my oyster right now, and I've decided to pee in it. So
whoa.
Nah, but otherwise everything's good. I finished my challenge. Today's the last day. Lost 31.4 pounds.
Wow.
In 30 days. Yeah. So basically,
but now you get to drink again.
Yeah, but I think I'm just gonna like keep this going and do more weight loss.
Hell yeah, man.
Yeah. Exciting. I'm excited. Are you excited? I'm
stoked. I just hope that you'll drink potions again before you come visit again.
Oh no, I will. Like when I'm out. Yeah, when I'm out, like I'm going to be holding, if you know what I mean. Whiskey, just for those who don't know.
I got you. No, but actually, you know what? Since you had such good success with it, I might try it out myself.
Dude, it's pretty great.
I'm a little thick. I'm getting a little juicy.
So, the thing is it is survival food. And mainly the weight loss was just a side effect of the thing that I did. The important part was that I ate nothing but their food and water for 30 days, and I did not die, which to me is great success.
Well, you should get them to give us money, and then we'll tell people what it was.
I will. I will actually ask them that right now. That's a very good idea. I will.
Yeah, you should, and then I'll try it, and we can be like, Matt's doing it. He's gonna get less thick.
Done and done.
He's gonna reduce his juice.
Reduce the juice.
It's actually gotten really annoying because I went up a size in pants 3 years ago, and I was really upset about that.
Yeah,
and now I've noticed that when I put my gun in my belt, the button is doing the thing again, and I'm like, no.
Oh,
I don't want to go to 36. No,
that's terrible. Oh God, I remember when I was at 36.
Yeah, I was a 32, man.
32. Holy moly! Yeah,
6'2" and a 32-inch waist, and now I'm a 34, and I want to keep it. I want to keep 34.
I think now a diet is the only option for you, really. All right, awesome, man. I will catch you next week then, buddy.